question, because I know that there will be large many questions. So we do not want to hear how much gas you have supplied from X to N. You mentioned about the key issues which are facing the city gas distribution, and wait for questions at the end. Come here, sit down, and then we'll invite the questions. So be brief. So 4 minutes 60 seconds.
Certainly, sir. Certainly. Thank you very much, sir. I will touch only the challenges faced by the city gas projects at macro level. If time had permitted, there are 77 city gas projects in different stages which have been unrolled in the country, and we have often been hearing tremendous success which Delhi and Mumbai has made. But if we do a reality check of the different projects, we will find that hardly, leaving aside a few which we can count on fingers, most of the projects are struggling. Even after having been started about 5 years or so, most of the projects have been struggling. So what are the reasons why Delhi and Mumbai could succeed and why other projects are struggling? So there are, the chief factors which led to the success of Delhi and Mumbai were basically that there was a there was a court mandate, there was a government support, there was a regulations which mandated the use of natural gas, and secondly, there was a availability of the domestic APM gas for the for use in the CGD projects. Because of the mandate, because of the judicial intervention and the government support, the public transport was prevailed upon to switch over from whatever fuel they were using to natural gas, the CNG. And it was also mandated to IGL, GAIL, and then thereafter IGL to make available, to set up the infrastructure so that the gas is available to the public transport. And the second factor was the APM gas, and because of by virtue of the APM gas being available, the price of CNG was is and still is much less the alternate fuels such as petrol and diesel. So which it makes a huge economic sense for consumers to opt for CNG. And in Delhi and Mumbai, there is a huge bus fleet and public transport, and which provided a anchor volume. In Delhi, for example, 40% of the CNG is consumed by the buses. So that was a factor which provided anchor volume, and which led to which facilitated the setting up of infrastructure in entire Delhi, and same goes for Mumbai also. And once that infrastructure was available, it was easier for other type of consumers also to come into the fold of natural gas, that is the domestic consumers and industrial and commercial consumers. But why it is not succeeding in other cities? Precisely because there is no mandate for the public transport to compulsorily use CNG. In Delhi, there was an added factor that even private car owners, because of the economy, because of the running cost, and because they have a large run of the vehicles, it makes sense for them to convert their cars to CNG. In fact, 25% of our sale is coming from the private cars. But is that the case in the other smaller cities? In the other cities, the run by any private car owner will be much less. In Delhi, when the payback period is less than a year, won't be the case in smaller cities. So there there is a necessity for government and the policy makers to decide what type of fuel is the CNG the right type of fuel which they would like to promote in the cities. And if they decide so, then they will have to bring the mandate for compulsory use of CNG. CNG otherwise has certain drawbacks, like if vehicles have to go for refueling, every second day, and there are other reasons like, there is a perception that vehicle lose power. So there has to be compelling reason for vehicle owners to switch over to CNG. So that is one crux of the matter, to bring some kind of regulation if in CNG needs to be promoted, and CNG is a part of the city gas project. The other consumers like domestic PNG, if we take the Delhi example, in every connection which we give to a domestic household, we go on to spend about 15,000 rupees. And in return, what we get? We get a 5,000 rupees refundable deposit. So domestic PNG is entirely an unviable proposition on its own. And that, if it holds for Delhi, and that holds for other cities as well. So for city gas projects to be viable in smaller cities and medium class cities, where the anchor volume will not be provided by CNG as was the case in Delhi, probably it is a must that the industries and commercial consumers should offer a total sale volume of about 70 to 80%. Unless that segment is present, we feel that launching a CGD project will not help. I mean, that will be another dud project, as so many other projects are going on. So as far as now availability of domestic gas, which is a must even for a project like Delhi. Now, if had there been no domestic gas made allocated to Delhi, the CNG price in Delhi would have been somewhere around 55 rupees kg. At that price, will anyone opt for CNG? So that holds for the smaller cities also. Now, the latest what we learned, that interministerial committee has recommended, and in fact pegged the allocation of domestic gas to the CGD projects at 6 MMSCMD, which is the current consumption. So there will be no further allocation probably for next few years. If that is the scenario, what success we expect from any new CGD projects which will be brought out by a regulator? So lastly, I will touch on that there needs to be a close coordination between the regulator and the government. The regulator has ambitious plan to enroll in another 300 odd cities in a phased manner. But when the ownership of gas rests with the government, and unless regulator takes up with the government and governments allocate some domestic gas for the projects, there is hardly any point in bringing more CGD projects. Let us first solve the problems which is besetting the 77 odd CGD projects which are going on in the country and still struggling. Thank you.